As soon as you start researching about application for your Canada PR or any PNP, the first thing that you would get online on Google is a list of contacts of various immigration consultants and lawyers offering their services. So in this video, I will talk about if you really need a immigration consultant or a representative for you, and with that help with your application or improve your chances of getting a PR. So let's discuss that. Let me start with my experience. I have spent almost 3.5 years here in Canada and got my PR a couple of months back. So I have various videos on that, on how I got my PNP and how I got my PR. So as you can understand, going through the PNP process and going through the PR process, there are a lot of documentations. There is no denying that fact. I have a folder with close to 60 documents, right from my work experience, my education experience, my education certificates, all of them. Similar for my wife, for my daughter. There are a lot of documents that needs to be provided to Ircc, and if you are going for PNP, a similar set of documents have to be provided to the province of your choice. But the main underlying point is that I did all by myself. I was able to do everything by myself, and I at no stage faced any challenge. There was not a stage where I got stuck. I said, hey, what would I do now? That kind of thing never happened in any of my PNP stage or any of my PR stage. The main reason is that here what I found that even in the PNP or in the or in the PR process in the IRCC websites, the instructions are super clear, very clear. You will not have a problem understanding those instructions and then following those instructions. So in my opinion, you must have seen in my posts on Facebook and my comments on YouTube, I don't support hiring a consultant, right? And if you are hiring one, then it's totally your choice. But in this video, what I'm trying to make you understand is that there are 5 points which needs to be understood before you decide going for a consultant. Number 1, why do you want to hire the consultant? You should be very clear about your reason of hiring a consultant. A consultant will just translate whatever instruction is given on the websites of the province or IRCC and just communicate that to you. They will not make up any further explanations. Okay, so they will see that, hey, on the website it says you need your education certificates. They will tell you, I need your education certificate. They will not take less or more of that. So ultimately you will have to provide those documents to the consultants. So the source of documents is you. Consultant is not producing any document. Let's be very clear about that. He'll not be able to give you any document or help you with any document. He might be only able to organize the documents in his desktop or in his laptop. Whatever documents you send it to him, he might just organize it, right? Or he might give a service like, if you have a paper document, he might just scan it, right? So those kind of clerical job he can do, but an overall thing you have to understand, he is not a source of document. So anything that you have, for all of the things, you have to provide the documentation. Okay, so then what is the reason of you hiring him? In all of the websites, like let's go through, I did my PNP through Alberta, right? So in Alberta's website, let's go through the Alberta website, right? So here if you see, it very clearly says the Alberta immigration program does not require you to use an immigration representative. The instructions are very clear. If you follow those instructions, you should be able to complete your application on your own, right? So for PNP, it's very clearly you don't need to employ any consultant. Even if you apply, it says it will not be given any special attention. Right? So it's not like they have any kind of quota or something that they can get you through. They will just do your documentation and then it will be up to the government. Not just Alberta. Let's see what the Ircc website. So I'll put a link of these links, right? Even in the Ircc websites, on the section of immigration consultants, it says in bold caution thing, it says you don't need to hire a representative. It's your choice that you want to hire one or not. But if you use it, don't think that this will draw special attention or this will increase your chances. I know there are a lot of consultants out there who advertise that, hey, we have done so many thousands of PRs, we have done so many thousands of hundreds and thousands of PNPs, we have a good success rate. That success rate is of the candidates and not of the consultants. If the candidates are able to provide all the documentations, they will get through, no matter if they are using a consultant or not using a consultant, using a representative or not using a representative. Okay, so you have to be very, very clear about why you need to hire a consultant. In my opinion, if you have passed your English test either in IELTS or Fswp, you should be able to read the instructions very clearly. It's very clear, very easy to follow. It might take some time, but ultimately it will help you in the long run. You will know what documentation you are submitting, and if there is any kind of query in the future, you can answer those queries, right? Even if you are using a representative, he will not answer anything on your behalf. The response would have to come from you. So you have to be you have to be very clear on the reasons, on the why. And that is why I'm stressing this on this number one point so much. Number two, you have to be aware that using a representative will increase your paperwork, in the sense that, let's go through this. Okay, let's go through the Alberta example. If you decide to use a representative, you must fill up this particular form for use a representative for Alberta. Again, for Ircc, you have to use another form. So here, just off the bat, there are two forms that got added. On top of it, some of the consultants have their web portals and their applications. You might be asked to create a profile there. So you are kind of adding on to your work of dealing with the consultant and then dealing with Ircc or with your province as per your choice. So second point, be very aware your paperwork will increase, your work will increase and not reduce by using a representative. Third point, representatives are of two types, paid and unpaid, but hardly representatives will work for you who are unpaid. So let's talk about paid representatives. These consultants will charge you an amount for their service because it's a service that they are providing. You have to be aware that this service is not free, and this service fee will add to your overall cost of your PR, right? So if you are hiring hiring a consultant, if your total expenses for a family is say $5,000, it comes to $5,000. You can easily add another $3,000 or $4,000 on top of it for using a representative, right? These representatives are expensive, so you have to be very aware of how much you are paying them, and then you should budget for those expenses, right? I have heard horror stories on people making arrangements of huge amounts of $5,000, $6,000, and ultimately the success or failure doesn't depend on the representative. I would say it depends on your case. If you have all the documentations, you will go through anyways. If you don't have any other documentation, you're trying to make it up through a representative or through a consultant, through some source, that's a fraud, and you will get caught in any of the steps for sure. So don't use a representative just to make up some documents. That is a fraud, and that will cause you problems. Okay, so this was my third point. It will add to your cost. Number 4, there is a very high chance of getting stuck in a scam or a fraud. There are a lot of people out there who know there are a lot of candidates who are desperate, especially during this COVID times when the draws were happening very slow, travel was not happening. There are a lot of people stuck in India and elsewhere, which who are getting very desperate of getting into Canada. Now that taking advantage of that desperation, there are a lot of consultants have mushroomed who are just taking people for a ride. So be very careful on when you are hiring a representative, and be aware that if you miss one due diligence point, or if you are not that careful, you can get stuck with a consultant and you can get scammed. You will lose money, but the main thing is that this is like, it can also damage your record with Ircc or the province, because most of the province, they do keep a track of if you have already applied. So if you applied with a scamster and you got stuck somewhere, some of your documentation got rejected, your application got rejected, that remains on the record. So there's no point going that way. So be very, very careful. And the last point in this is, if after thinking through all those points and understanding whatever you need to do, whatever you wanted to do, you want to hire a representative, then I would suggest go through the Ircc website and find out if your representative is authorized. Right? So there is a licensing system in Canada that authorizes all the legal representatives. So you should contact only these representatives who are licensed and who are in good standing. So in this, if you will find a links of how to search for consultant legal representatives, if they are members and they are in good standing. So you have to understand that they have to be in good standing also, because what happens is that many consultants, they do register with the law societies and then they don't follow their procedures like paying annual fees and membership fees and things like that. So what happens is, then they are kind of removed from the standing. So it's also important that they should be in good standing. Okay, if they are not in good standing, don't take their service, no matter how much they advertise on their website, no matter how much reviews you see on Google, everything. You should always check for consultants CIC numbers and then make sure that they are registered. Okay, so these are the 5 points I wanted to discuss, and about my particular opinion on using of representatives. As I told you, not just me, there are a lot of people I know who have done these applications on their own and have been successful. Right? So I personally see no reason of hiring a representative and wasting your money. So, and wasting your time, not just wasting your money. It will take a lot of your time, extra time dealing with representatives. So yeah. So save yourself the pain. Go through the documentations on your own. Fill up all the documentation on your own. You will be in control of your application, and you will have better results, and you will save some money and time. So that's a icing on the cake. So thank you everyone for listening in. If you have any questions on this topic, please reach me out on the comments, and I will be more than happy to answer you. And till the next time, see you in the next video. Thank you.
Please,